Hey, Tony Gaskins here. I want to pop in and talk to you about healthy relationships and what does a healthy relationship look like, because we live in a world where there is a lot of misconstrued ideas and notions about healthy love. And here's one of the things that I found. Now, for one, March 30th makes 16 years of marriage for my wife and I. And I'm born in 84. She's born in 86. So technically we kind of are considered millennials. And being in a social media age as millennials and being in a dating app age, it is extremely hard to stay married in these times because there are so many temptations, so many other options out there. And then also once you start to build a brand and you have notoriety and things of that nature in your city or online or what have you, that adds to it. Even if you just climb the ranks on your job, it adds to it because people sometimes see somebody they like and they set in their mind they're going to go get that person. And no relationship is perfect and no relationship is happy every day of the existence. And one of the things that you cannot do is believe the captions that you read online about people getting together and it's being perfect since day one and it just being so amazing. We're all going to say that and we're all going to sell that dream and we're all going to, promote it as that. But nothing is perfect because perfection doesn't exist. And you can be happy and you can call it perfect, but that doesn't mean that it's actually perfect in every sense of the word. So when you look at a healthy relationship, it's some things that you have to understand, and the list can be forever long. But I'm pulling from not only my relationship, but the thousands of relationships that I've been invited into. So sometimes people make assumptions about what makes relationships work, or they make an assumption that I'm speaking only from my experience, not realizing that I receive thousands of emails of other people's experience. And I also have coached thousands of clients in the 15 going on 16 years that I've been a professional coach. So I'm able to pull from all kinds of sources and data and able to see, okay, these are the things that we feel makes a relationship healthy, or what I found makes a relationship healthy. And a lot of times people think that a Christian's description of a healthy relationship is based on Christianity. And that's not true, because there is such a thing as universal law, meaning there are cause and effect. There's cause and effect regardless of your religion. There is seeds and a harvest regardless of your religion. There are actions and reactions regardless of your religion. So that's what we have to understand. Now, a lot of people don't understand the importance of communication. But communication to a relationship is like oxygen to life. That's a quote that I wrote a long time ago. Communication to a relationship is like oxygen to life. So the number one, the first thing, and it doesn't have to be in this order, but the first thing that I would say, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, and I'm talking to you from my heart. I don't have this written out or bullet points, but we're going to go through it just because I want you to really, whatever jumps in my spirit and comes out on this video, this is the most important thing. If I wrote it down, I could write down a million things. The number one thing that I would say is communication. And the reason being is because we are not mind readers. So the man has to express himself and the woman has to express herself. And the next part of that in this number one is healthy communication, understanding and learning how to communicate with your partner based on how they receive information. So I struggled with this because I wouldn't communicate up front. And then I would let stuff build up, build up, build up. And then I would create a narrative in my mind. And then I would be very blunt, very direct, very harsh, very hurtful. And so I made mistakes in my communication as a man in my marriage and before my marriage as well. Same thing that we see this with men and women, and it just depends on personality type, sometimes the upbringing and things of that nature, but this can go both ways. My wife, on the other hand, she's not really a communicator in the sense that I will express myself and I will talk, and I'll talk an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it takes. My wife is a more so one sentence, two sentence. Okay, got you, got it. Let's make the changes. All right, go on about my business. And she's not the type to just sit and want to hash out something for an hour. That's not her type. Now, typically, what we hear is that is a lot of times men. And what I'm learning to do in communication and expressing is a lot of times the woman. So that goes to show you right there that this isn't about gender. This isn't about a gender role, because I just use my own relationship as an example of how a woman communicates what in a way that a lot of people think a man communicates, and I communicate in a way that a lot of people think a woman communicates. So that goes to show you this could go both ways, and it has nothing to do with your gender. It has to do with your personality and your upbringing, on how you and what you've gone through, your history, your biography, which determines how you communicate. And that should go without saying, but there's people who say, oh, communication isn't the most important thing, or it's not an important thing. It's more so about addressing childhood trauma, which that is a part of self-work and personal work, but that's not your relationship work. That's your personal work. So it's separate. Now, the second thing that goes into a healthy relationship, and again, these are in no particular order, I'm just giving you what really jumps off the page to me from working with thousands of clients and being married for 16 years. The second thing is freedom in a relationship. And when I mean by freedom, I don't mean the freedom to sleep with other people. I don't mean the freedom to have friends of the gender that you are attracted to. That's not what I mean by freedom. What I mean by freedom is to be able to have your time and your space. So if you are the type of person that sitting alone anywhere or somewhere or going on a trip alone really refuels you, it rebuilds you, it rejuvenates you, it reboots you, then you need to have the space and the freedom to be able to do that. If you are the type of person that you need to have a schedule where you can move and shake, you want to get up, and I'll give you an example. And just to make this plain, today my wife, she got up, she took our son to school, then she went to Pilates. And then after Pilates, she was with my sister. After Pilates, they went to like a bridge, like a walking bridge. And they did that. And then after that, she went to lunch with another friend. And then after that, she went to pick up our sons and then pick up our dinner. And then she's coming home. So from 7 a.m. this morning, it's 3:20 p.m. My wife has been out and about, moving and just having that freedom. What I have learned is that when I can do that and she can do that, and we have trust, we have that, which we're going to add that in there. It is so rejuvenating, and it makes the love so much better, than being codependent. I woke up this morning and I went to the gym where we have a membership, and I did my workout from my running coach. And then after that, I went and ran an errand. I had to drop off a tag at the DMV. And then I came back home and I ate, and then I got on the phone and coached my client. And I've had to coach 2 clients before this video. So because I got up and I got out and I got moving, my wife got up and got out and got moving. Now in our conversation on the phone, and now we talking on text, planning stuff for my birthday next month, March 8th. Now it's like when I see her, we're going to be happy. We're going to be light on our feet, going to feel good. And in this, I'll tell you the truth too now. In this, your mind will play tricks on you. There will be days that you just not having a good day. And if you've had something in the past where you've been cheated on or you've been lied to, and y'all are working through that, you're overcoming that, you're going to have a lot of days where you want your partner to be your prisoner and not have freedom. It's going to be days where your partner is doing nothing wrong because they've learned their lesson from whatever you have gone through, and they're doing nothing wrong, but you want to keep them under your thumb because of your lack of trust. So understand that, and you got to overcome that. And it's healthy ways to put out that fire from a lack of trust. And sometimes it's just a phone call, but it's not an accusatory or an interrogation phone call. It's a, hey, how you doing? I just was thinking about you. You know, how things going? And you just hearing their voice. You hearing their voice. And parents do this with their children. Siblings do this with a sibling that they love and they just don't know where they at. It's okay for couples to do this. You don't have to put this under some, guise of, oh, you trying to scratch an itch of your insecurity. You need to just sit there and suffer through this insecurity, or it's not even really insecurity. It's you have a history. So it's naturally just gonna make you think like what could be going on right now. That's human nature. That's with anything. So don't let any type of clinician or therapist or anything tell you that that's unnatural, that's not normal, and that's not right. And that although you've been cheated on, you should never think about that again. And you should never make contact with your partner by phone when they've been gone for hours because that means you're insecure. That's not true. You have to inspect what you expect, because your partner could be dead on the side of the road and you ain't got the call yet because they still trying to get stuff together. God forbid. But I just want to have a drastic measure in there so you understand, like, it's other stuff that can happen that could be going on. And so understand that, yes, you need to give freedom and you need to have trust, but it's okay to touch base. Hey, how you doing? Just thinking about you. How's everything going? Hey, can you do this right here? Or you need me to do anything on my end? Just like that. You have that conversation. Now, number 2 was freedom. Number 3, we're going to make it trust. Trust is something where this is what you have to understand. Love, trying to love someone and trying to be in a relationship, it is a gamble. And what happens when you gamble? Sometimes when you gamble, you lose. You have to be okay with taking the risk of losing. In order to have the absolute best love you can possibly have, you have to be willing to lose. Meaning you have to be willing to give enough rope to see what your partner's going to do with that rope. And you got to be willing to trust enough, to give enough space, to give enough freedom so that your partner can cheat on you. Understand what I'm saying now? Meaning they have enough freedom. Like, I was gone today. My wife didn't write me. She left the house 7 a.m. with the boys. She didn't write me till like 10:30, 11 a.m. And I could have been with another woman, but I was at the gym working out. She could have been with another man, but she was at the gym working out. So I say that to say, you're trusting enough to where if you got a no good partner, they could get a little work done. They could get some in. But when somebody has trust, when somebody has your trust and they abuse your trust, they take advantage of your trust, guess what? They're going to get sloppy. Because you're not checking and doing all of this and being so blatant with your checking or being so blatant with your distrust of humans or your insecurity or whatever it may be, because you're not acting out from that, they're going to assume that you're never going to check their phone and that you're never going to, have a clue, and they're going to get messy. They're going to get messy and you're going to get a call one day if they're doing the wrong thing. Hey, I just seen such and such at this place with another man or with another woman. Oh, really? Okay, all right. Let me slide up here. And listen, you ain't going in there to move no furniture. You ain't going in there to take no life. You just going in there to make eye contact. How y'all doing? And now remember, the highest level of love is self-love. That's the fourth level of love. Lust, like, love, self-love. So okay, how y'all doing? I hope you happy. Go on about your business. Don't even go in there doing no fighting, no cussing, no moving no furniture, no going off. Know who you are. Know what you bring to the table. Get your food, your dish, everything you done made up from that table and go on about your business. So number 3 will be trust. We got communication, we got freedom, and we got trust. Now, number 4, we will have quality time. You have to give time. You gotta make time. You have to be intentional. Life does not want to give you time. Your schedule will not want to give you time. You have to be intentional. So I'll be tied up, I'll be feeling a certain way. Like last night, me and my wife, we watching this documentary or this new series on Netflix. And she saved it for me. She said, I just came out. I know you want to watch it, so I'm watching something else till you get home. Last night, after we put the boys down to bed and the house quiet as me and her, she said, hey, you can put that show on. So I put it on and we watched one episode, like an hour long. And then after that, we went to bed. But that quality time you get to build. If I'm thinking about something, I hit pause and I share it. She thinking about something, she hit pause, she share it. So we had that quality time. Now, some people don't have a TV in their room because they feel like that mess up their quality time or intimacy. To each their own. We always have to understand what worked for one couple ain't gonna work for the next. So you got to do what worked for you. And so that's quality time. If it's a Friday night, Saturday night, Fridays, it's kind of tough. But lunch during the week, a lot of times we could make that work. So last week we went to lunch. I think we went to a store, something like that right there. And you get out, you make that happen. You have to have that quality time. Now this ties in with number 5, which is intimacy. Now, in this intimacy, you got to understand there's levels to intimacy. So if you're not married, intimacy could be quality time, sitting and watching Netflix, going on a date, walking around the lake, the pond, or whatever it is, holding hands, caressing, having a hug, having you a kiss on the forehead, kiss on the nose, kiss on the cheek, kiss on the ear. Well, you might want to stay around from the ears and that neck. Don't do too much on the ears and that neck now, because you'll end up on your back. And you have your back and your neck, like Kaya. And then it'd be other stuff going on with the rest of the stuff she had in the song. And so now listen, you have to understand that. Intimacy is levels to intimacy, is different types of intimacy. Intimacy does not mean in the bed fornicating. That's not what it means. You could be intimate. Remember this, and I learned this from Zig Ziglar. The largest sexual organ is the brain. So what we need to make a habit of is making love to the mind. Make love to the mind, not the body. When you married, you make love to the mind, then you make love to the body. When you're not married, you need to be watching what you're doing, and you create intimacy in other ways. So now listen, as you know, you're going to have the relationship coaches in the comment. Oh, you need this here. Oh, you need this here. Listen, we can make a list of 50 things if we want to. But we just ran down through 5 things. That if you have them 5 things, You have them 5 things, you really gonna be doing good. You're gonna be doing good. And now we have obvious things like honesty, loyalty. You can make that 6 and 7. We have those obvious things. Kindness. We can make that number 8. Be kind. Gentleness. We can make that number 9. Be gentle. So you see what I mean? You could throw in all them other things, but when you really break it down, when you really think about it, those things can be encompassed in those first 5, because each thing breaks down into different parts. So this is important. And on the flip side of this, what I want you to understand is, I need you to understand that these somebody sent me a picture, a video of the comedian Lil Duval, and he was talking about him and his girlfriend have girlfriends, and she wrote in the comment, "Grown boy?" question mark at Tony Gaskins. And for me, I don't recommend those type of things. I don't recommend having an open relationship or having that would be open if you bring other people in your bedroom, even though you know about it. Or that could be, polyamorous. You could call it whatever you want to call it. But, threesomes and foursomes and all of that, I don't recommend that, because it's hard enough to learn the spirit of the person that you're with. Like, going on 16 years of marriage, my wife and I are still learning each other. Like, we still get on each other's nerves. Like, we still could do or say things after 16 years of marriage. You still learning each other. You still, some days you walking on eggshells because you trying to really learn and just see, okay, what pushes what buttons, and I don't want to push this button that does this. So imagine bringing in different spirits. So when you are in a relationship where you're open to bringing in other spirits, you don't know this person's history and their biography. You don't know what they really are looking for in their life. You don't know what they think this is going to turn into. It, regardless of what you tell them. People get told stuff all the time. Like, hey, I don't want a relationship. And then that person still go into it thinking that once they make love or once they spend time together, this person gonna magically want a relationship. So you could tell this third wheel, hey, this is nothing. We just having fun. This is what we do. Us, the 3 of us, this is not triangulation, or this not a relationship. All 3 of us, this just we having fun. We turning up. And it was like, yeah, I know. But that person could be telling them, yeah, that's what you say not to. I'll put this thing on you, boy. Look here. Boy, look here. And that's how that third person could be talking now. And then it's also not fair. And now I think the comedian said his woman really likes women, and that his last relationship ended because the woman didn't actually like women. That's a prime example. He said that his last relationship, they broke up. I think he might have said 8 years. They broke up because the woman said she liked women to get into the relationship, was doing the threesomes and foursomes or whatever they was doing, and then decide she gonna change her mind and she just want him to herself. And he like, no, that ain't what I'm about. That ain't what I'm on. Now we ain't sign up for that. Now me as a man, I feel like I would have to be, I feel like for me to want to have threesomes, me personally, just like to have threesome, like more than one time. Like that one time could be like, oh, just doing this because just to say I've done it. I've never had a threesome. To be honest with you, it's men who really know something about a woman and her body, and about how the mind is connected to sex, realize that we barely pleasing one woman. So to have more than one woman in the bed is to me is it's a waste. It's a waste, because y'all just in there doing nothing. Y'all just in there doing something, but ain't nobody really getting nothing out of it, because it's supposed to be intimate. It's supposed to be a mental and a spiritual connection. When you got 3-4 people in the bed, even if it's just 3, and men don't know enough about a woman's body. Women don't even know a lot about their body. Women still trying to learn their body and learn what does what for them, and so that they can express that to their man or help him understand her body, because it's intricate. It's intricacies to a woman's body, whereas a man just got an old pole, and it don't matter what's on it and who doing it and what, it's gonna work the same way regardless. There's no tricks to a man body. There's tricks to a woman body. You got to know your way round. And to do that for one woman and then in a second woman, I just feel like as a man, I would have to have had some childhood trauma that would make me want to have multiple threesomes. I would have to have some insecurity or just some, I would say I would just wrap it up into childhood trauma just to want to live that lifestyle. I can't understand it. Like me personally, I can't wrap my head around it. And I can't see a man as normal. I can't see him as normal and healthy and safe. And like I wouldn't want, I couldn't have that man be my daughter godfather. Because if your mind will go there and you'll put women in that place and you want multiple women and you want women who like women and you want to do all that, I can't really trust it. Because lust is not like thirst. If I'm thirsty, I could drink some water and quench my thirst. But when humans give into lust, when you feed lust, it gets stronger. And then before you know it, you want more and more and more and more. Nothing is enough. It's the same reason why marijuana is a gateway drug. And even if it's just a gateway to more blunts, and then eventually it's going to be a gateway to some type of pill or some type of powder or some other type of substance that you're trying. Just because you used to a high, you used to the way it make you feel. So now, okay, what else out there is like this? What else out there is safe like this or not as harmful like this that I could try and see if it give me a different type of high, but it don't affect me any worse than what this does. It's a gateway, and lust is a gateway. That's why I've seen men who start doing stuff at a young age, 6, 7, 8, 9, become very promiscuous, deal with a lot of women, and then when they go into adulthood, next thing you know, they're dealing with cisgenders. They're dealing with transvestites. They're dealing with men. They're dealing in all kind of dark web pornography. They get into all kind of stuff. And the reason how I know this because I have had several clients. This is what I do. That's why I tell you, I study this stuff on a daily basis. I've worked with several women who caught their man who, to the public, these men present extremely masculine. Some of the times it is very like, sometimes these men do a very masculine job to where nobody would ever assume that these type of men would be receiving pornographic videos from transvestites and cisgender, or whatever it'll be called. But the individuals who dress like a woman, wear their hair and makeup and put on dresses and heels, but have a dang-a-lang, a penis. And there are men who have going into this space, it's a lot of men who pay these individuals for videos, pay them for videos, and it through Snapchat. And I know some of y'all know about what I'm talking about, and some of the men watch this. Man, how you know, man? How you know my secret, man? They going to their wife. Did you ever have sex with Tony Garrison? No, she have not. But I'm telling you, I'm worldwide. That's what I try to tell y'all. Don't ever be in a comment talking about Tony just talking about his personal experience. I touch the world. I talk to people all around the world. 6 different continents. Only continent I ain't touched is Antarctica. But other than that, I'm talking to people all over the world. And that's what I need you to understand. So that's what happens when a man is touched as a child, or he get exposed to this stuff as a child, or even as an adult, he becomes extremely promiscuous. It's just the curiosity killed the cat. They want more and more and more and more. So that's why I cannot consider a relationship where the couple brings other people into their relationship sexually, or even like just telling business to them. I can't consider that healthy. So that's why it's certain, and people will think, oh, that's because you're Christian. No, it's because of the spiritual warfare in humans. It's because of the uncertainty. It's because of the risk and the danger of the STDs, the sexually transmitted and the spiritually transmitted. Because it's abnormal to have a threesome, the people who do it have to be off center. Because when we rebel and we do things that are not normal, that means that we are that means that we're risk takers, and that we go against the grain. And point in case, the gentleman that one of y'all sent me, the comedian, he scuba dives. He flies planes. He does a lot of near-death things. So it makes sense for someone like that to go against the Holy Bible, to go against the Quran, to go against all religion and have threesomes. Because that is a risk. Because unless you're sitting down with this third person and say, hey, show me your test. But for women to do that, it's even because women are different than men. So for women to do that, a woman has to have seen some things and done some things and experienced some things. And when you talk to the women who do threesomes and things of that nature, when you talk to them like I have, you discover what they've gone through and what they've seen and what they've suffered at the hands of other humans. And then it all makes sense. And you're like, oh, so you're not just doing this because you think it's fun or because this is just what you want to do. This is what you've become accustomed to. Like this is par for the course based on what you've experienced in your life. Like this is kind of the trajectory. And it's like, it's not like you rarely will hear, I was raised with an amazing father, an amazing mother. I've never been hit by a man. I've never been cheated on or abused by a man in any way. I was a virgin until 18 or 22 when I graduated from school. You never hear that story with women who do threesomes. Now it is out there. There's exception to the rules, but it's still other things that they did with their spirit that kind of got them in that lane. Other things that they experienced that got them in that lane. And so that's why I don't believe in, a lot of people think it's just because I'm a Christian and because I love God why I don't believe in health in a relationship being healthy if the couple does drugs together, or if the couple has threesomes, or they're open relationship, or swinging, or whatever you want to call it, polyamorous, or a man has more than one wife. I can't consider any of that a healthy relationship because of the spiritual element and because of the uncertainty of what happens with these spirits when there are no boundaries, when that gate has been opened, that gateway has been opened. We do not know what's going to come from that, because when the spirit, listen to what I'm telling you, when the spirit starts to fail in the spiritual realm, when the spirit is struggling in the spiritual realm, when the spirit who is using a physical human being, the human being does not understand the spirit that they're being used by. So therefore, the human acts out physically. It's all spiritual, but that's why the human is having threesomes and foursomes and multiple partners or swinging, because they're trying to crucify a spirit that they do not understand. They're at war with this spirit, but they don't understand that the only thing that can drive out that spirit is the Holy Spirit. They don't understand that it takes a good spirit to drive out an evil spirit. And they don't identify with it as an evil spirit because it is condoned and applauded and respected by sectors of society. And as humans, we appreciate and we need validation. So when we're validated for our decisions that could be spiritual perversion, we no longer see it as spiritual perversion because it's being reinforced by a man or a woman or society. And there's so many people who will say, do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes sense to you. But the person may not even realize that they're not really happy in that. But they're trying to crucify, or they're trying to alleviate the pain from trauma that they have felt as a child or a young adult or as an adult, and not understanding that what you do in the physical is not going to completely rectify what you feel in the spiritual. I'm gonna stop right there because we don't live in that kind of society where we could go too deep on this here stuff. We can't really, this YouTube. So when I get back on tour, we'll do some of this here on tour where we could do some little back and forth, have some Q&A and stuff. So I got to raise the money. I think it's a site out there that allow you to pre-purchase tickets. If I find that site, maybe y'all Google it. Pre-purchase your tickets to fund the event. I think there's sites out there like that. And I'm gonna release that. Then you buy your ticket in advance. Now it funds the tour. Now I could book the venue and pick the date. And then if you can't come on that date, then you could get a refund. But yet you still help it come to pass. And then we also can record it. And I could make a course on the academy where you don't have to get a refund. You get the recording of that seminar. And these seminars need to be 4 to 8 hours with a lunch break and maybe a dinner break. But we need to be able to go deep like what we talking about and just really talk on the state of relationships right now. The state of love and all this fake love and all these lies on love that we have in our society right now. But hey, this Tony Gaskins. God bless you. If you are not in the Growth Club, click the link in the description and join us. This is so when I do go back on tour, Lord willing, maybe this summer, when I ain't missing too much with my sons, with soccer and stuff like that. And if I do go on tour while they in soccer and in school, it's going to be weeknights, Wednesday night, Thursday night type events. Okay, so understand that as well. So now, the Growth Club monthly group coaching, where we'll be able to talk about your money, building, growing your money, building your business or starting your business, talking about health and wellness, talking about love and relationships, talking about all things well-rounded life, balance, life, love, and business, different topics, and then bonus topics. So bonus topics will be more specific, like how to build your credit or how to repair your credit, how to build business credit, how to start a nonprofit organization or how to run a nonprofit organization or how to get grants. It'll be specific things like that. And the teachers of those little breakouts will be people that are in the group first and or in my year of coaching program with me or have taken my life coach certification. I'll be sending out emails for those teachers to teach those breakout sessions, because I don't specialize in everything. I know what I know, and I know a little bit of a lot of different topics, but I don't specialize in everything. So I would bring somebody who has actually built business credit to teach that class, and then y'all will just bless them, just send them a little love offering through Cash App or something for adding that bonus class for you that month. So it's only $47 a month. You can't put a price on something like this. It's priceless. The link is in the description. I hope to work with you. Hope to see you in the Growth Club. God bless you. We'll talk soon.